Let's see if this fixes it. All right, we're going to check and see if this is fixed. For some reason, all right, I think we're back to normal. I'll wait and hear you guys in the chat and make sure we're back to normal. But I think for some reason, I don't know why, but something was not being received properly. But it looks like everything's totally cool. We're normal. Everything's sounding good. Everything looking good. We're kind of back to normal. That was really random, but for some reason, yeah, sorry about that. Everything was totally fine on my end, fine in the camera, and for some reason, YouTube, it looked like poop. It looked like poop. Um, all right, so we good? Cool. All right, looks like we're okay. Oh, great. Okay. All right. Let me just check a couple things here to make sure we're cool. And then we will start the show officially. Because, don't have a tech person, y'all. It's just me trying to figure it out on my own. Just me trying to figure it out on my own. All right, it looks like some people are trickling back in. I appreciate it. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron. Sorry about the hiccup this morning. For some reason, I don't know, but we're here now. That's what matters. Good afternoon, good morning, good day, good evening, whatever's going on where you're at. Hope it's awesome. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Oh, I need to do this real quick. Let's see here. Sorry about this. I am a little disheveled today because we had a tech issue out of the gate. So sorry about that. But we'll try to recover. That's all you can do. Isn't that a vote of confidence? Welcome to the show. We're going to try to recover. We're going to try to recover from this, but we started out with a tech hiccup. Didn't know what was going to happen, but I think we got it fixed. Hopefully we did. Maybe I'm just a blank screen right now. Maybe nobody can hear this. I have no clue, but we're going to roll with it and try to plow through. Technology, sometimes it's just not on your side. I don't have a tech person. I can't afford one. So it's just me. And yeah, so here we go. Shooting from the hip, if you will. Okay, and apparently it's not going good again. All right. So I guess it's not good again. So what do you do in this situation? Do you just cancel for today and try again tomorrow? Do you plow through? What do you do? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Because it looks like apparently there's still issues. Let me go back to the thing and see what's going on. Because if things are still messed up, then we might have to just say, not today, and try again. Okay. All right. So it looks like we're okay. All right, it looks like we're okay. All right, cool. Let's see here. I want to do this, and we're set. Okay, we're set. Now we're set. Lucy, we're set. I don't know if I got the word. She just bails whenever tech isn't working. She's just like, I'm out. I don't have time for this. This isn't in my contract. You're not paying me enough. I am out. Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron. I hope everybody is well. I hope everybody is having a happy Wednesday. I was having a good one until this. Not because of you guys, but because of technology. I was having a great Wednesday until starting the stream. The stream took a dump, then it took a dump again, and now I think right now I'm not being shit on. I think right now no one is. There's no scat porn going on at the moment. But yeah, the start of this stream just total no, not great. Terrible. I don't know why. Everything was fine on my end. Everything was working. I tested everything like I always do, but for some reason, it came across YouTube like it was some pixelated thing from like 1995. Like you were all on your dial-up internet waiting for a picture to load that a family member emailed you who learned to send attachments the quickest. And you're like, this is a picture of your aunt. And then by the time it loads, you're like, she could have just mailed us a photo and it would have gotten here quicker. That's what the stream looked like for a little while. But we fixed it. Sweet. So I got to talk a little bit about last night. The debate last night on CNN, and I had some time to sleep on this, so I really thought about this, and I'm not embellishing when I say this. The debate last night was the worst display of news and information in a professional setting that I have ever seen in my lifetime. Bar none. It was, and keep in mind, the bar is incredibly low. I mean, keep in mind, in 2016, there was that GOP debate that became a literal measuring contest. They literally started talking about the size of their penises. Do you remember that? So we literally had a situation where there was a bunch of old white dudes talking about their dicks. Last night was beneath that. It was somehow worse than that. Every single debate the corporate media has, their pep talk in advance to everybody who's working there, everybody from the intern up to Anderson Cooper. They should just be like, hey, just don't let it turn into a measuring contest, and we're not the worst. Just remember, like I do comedy, and sometimes I'll go to open mics to work on new material. And when you're starting out, you go to open mics initially. That's how you start in comedy. You go to an open mic, you try out material, and you learn how to do the craft, and you kind of find out what works for you, et cetera, et cetera. And every now and again, I'll be at an open mic working on some new jokes, and there'll be a comic who's new to the game. And sometimes they're nervous, and sometimes they'll ask you stuff. They'll be like, oh, yeah, you've been doing this a while. Do you have any advice? And usually you just want to say, hey, just enjoy it. Keep getting up, keep writing. And remember, there's always going to be someone worse than you. Like, don't worry. If it doesn't go well, don't worry about it. I'm trying some new jokes. They might not work. I don't know. But there's always, people who have been to these things, you've seen everything under the sun. There's always going to be somebody worse than you. Similarly, they should be like, there's always going to be someone worse than us. There's always going to be, remember that measuring contest? There's always going to be something worse. Well, no, last night was the worst. All right. So why, Ron? Why was it that bad? Well, a number of reasons. One reason was all of the questions were just completely like they stuck by the script. First of all, we'll state the obvious. They hated Bernie. They wanted Bernie out of there. That was what they wanted more than anything else. No Bernie. And every single question was pointed and in a gotcha attempt and totally leading. And then they didn't fluctuate or adjust at all based on his answer. I can give you two for instances. First of all, well, here, I'll give you the first one. Then we're going to look at another one. They said, Bernie, you don't give a price tag on Medicare for all, which he has done many times over. But they said, Bernie, you don't give a price tag on Medicare for all. Bernie gave an example of a price tag. He pretty much said a price tag. He's like, here's what an average family with this income would pay versus what they're paying now. Then after he gave that answer, their following question was to Joe Biden, why doesn't Bernie give a price tag on Medicare for all? And then Joe Biden went into his scripted verbiage dismissing Medicare for all, which is, by the way, a bunch of lies on Joe Biden's part. And then here's another, for instance. Check this out. We're going to listen to this. this happened between Liz Warren and Bernie Sanders. So you guys know about the discrepancy going on that is based on, a bunch of random people at CNN who told, or not at CNN, a bunch of random people who told CNN that Bernie Sanders said a woman wouldn't win the presidency. So we know that's going on. And of course, we knew that they were going to address it in the debate. And here's what happened when they addressed it. Check this out.
Senator Sanders, I do want to be clear here. You're saying that you never told Senator Warren that a woman could not win the election.
That is correct.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election?
I mean, look at that. Like they just kept going. He says, yes, I didn't say that. And then their next question, Liz Warren, how did you feel when he said that? The thing that he just said he didn't say, how did you feel when he said it? Let's see what she says. Oh, okay. This is an MSNBC thing. All right. So that literally happened. And by the way, when they brought up the topic, Bernie looked straight ahead, was ready to confront it, said, this is what actually happened. Liz Warren put her freaking head down. That's called a tell. And you can watch that footage. You can watch the footage. We're not going to go through all of it now, but you can watch the footage where they brought the topic up. Liz Warren puts her head down. She couldn't look Bernie in the eye. Oh, and then guess what? She saw Bernie afterwards. And here's what happened. We want to check out, I want to show you guys this thing too. This is what happened when Liz Warren saw Bernie. Check out this video. So there's no, you can't hear what's happening between them. All right, so here, check this out.
Live from the Democratic debate in Des Moines, Iowa. This was it. The last time Americans will hear the Democratic candidates all on a stage together, hearing them debate before the first votes are cast 20 days from now. Caucuses in 20 days. 6 candidates on stage, laser focus on policy, Iran, healthcare, jobs, the topic.
So when we covered the debate on Graham Elwood's channel, The Political Vigilante, we did a post-debate thing last night. Somebody in the super chat said that Bernie's actually saying we're done. Now, I'm not a great lip reader, but I didn't see that. I mean, I couldn't see it one way or another. Like I didn't see any definitive words. Let's watch it again. But here's what happened. So let's keep in mind, Bernie, even after Liz Warren lied about him on national television, Bernie extends his hand to shake it. She won't shake his hand. But, all right, so let's watch. We don't need the volume because they're not talking. All right, so let's, I mean, it's obvious they're having a heated exchange. And then Bernie goes kind of like, all right, you and me. I saw you and me. That's the only thing I saw there. At one point, he clearly says you and me. Like where he goes, he points, but I don't know I have no clue what she's saying. I can't tell. But I'm pretty sure, there was definitely you and me. So maybe he said, and then someone's saying you can tell that he said what at one point. All right, let's do it one more time. All right, here, we'll full screen it. Here we go. All right. So let's start it from the beginning. All right, so she's calling him over. All right, I think he said what there. All right, so now they're clearly having an exchange. Tom Steyer's just there. And Tom just kind of wants to be neutral here, it looks like. Now, people want to know, what did Tom Steyer hear? Unfortunately, so check this out. Let's see here. So I got this. This is from, I believe, someone over at ABC, because they did ask Tom Steyer what he heard, and unfortunately, this is the best that we got so far, at least to the extent that I've been looking into it. Tom Steyer just told us that he didn't hear what Sanders and Warren were talking about. I was really just trying to say goodnight to both of them. So there you have it. So Tom Steyer apparently couldn't hear them. He was standing right there, though. How could he not hear what they were saying? I I feel like he had to. I mean, unless maybe he was like, if you were really trying to just like distance yourself, which maybe he was doing that. I don't know. I mean, if that would have been me, I would have wanted to hear everything and then talk about it later. But I don't know how he couldn't hear. He was standing right there. And he looked uncomfortable. So we don't know exactly what was said. It looked like Bernie said, "What?" where she first started confronting him. He reached out his hand. She wouldn't shake it. And then he says, "You and me." Does he say we're done after that? I can't tell. I don't know. But it looks like he says "you and me" where he does this. Who knows what was said? But we do know Bernie reached out his hand. She wouldn't even take it. Now, she had a nice long handshake with Joe Biden. She had a nice long handshake with everyone else. But they couldn't even say. They didn't even ask Liz Warren. They didn't go as far as to be like, Liz Warren, did he say that? They didn't even ask her. They didn't bring up the fact that in the Washington Post, of all places, there's firsthand accounts that dispute Liz Warren's assessment of events. Liz Warren, again, she has once and for all exposed what she is. If there was any doubt, there should not be any more. If her flip-flopping daily wasn't enough, if her endorsing Hillary over Bernie wasn't enough, if the fact that she makes a great speech to Wells Fargo then does nothing wasn't enough, if the fact that she changes her mind on Medicare for all every week wasn't enough, if the fact that she was a Republican until she was 47 wasn't enough, if the fact that she stands up and claps when Donald Trump says we'll never be a socialist nation wasn't enough, if the fact that she votes for the military budgets wasn't enough, if the fact that she said that what Hunter Biden got was wrong and then backpedaled on that because she had no clue how to actually handle that question because she didn't want to say something that made her donors mad wasn't enough, if the fact that she cannot handle somebody heckling her and Ayanna Pressley has to bail her out because she has no ideas and no clue how to handle anything wasn't enough, this should be enough. The fact that she's just casually going along with a lie, and now her own campaign is trying to distance themselves from it because they see it backfiring. They wanted to have the rhetorical event. She was silent for all those hours, not because she was taking the high road, but because she wanted it to spread throughout the media. That's what she wanted, and she got what she wanted. And now they're realizing, oh, people don't see her as a progressive ally anymore. There were plenty of clues, but now, I mean, there's no going back. So they're trying to backpedal. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. And it's amazing. After he said, I didn't say that, Liz Warren, how did it feel when he said that? And there were plenty of other. It wasn't even just Bernie, where it was unbelievable how shoddy of a debate it was. Amy Klobuchar would make statements like this conversation when they were talking about Medicare for all. This conversation's not based in reality, said Amy Klobuchar. Did anyone ask her why? No, of course not. Was Bernie able to respond? No, of course not. By the way, interesting, Amy Klobuchar is talking about reality when she is barely showing up in the polls at this point in time and thinks she has a chance at being president. If anyone should lecture about reality, it's Amy Klobuchar. Oh, another moment, another fine Amy Klobuchar moment. They were talking about free college, tuition-free college. Amy Klobuchar says the people who are talking about free college aren't thinking big enough. That was her claim. They're not thinking big enough. What do you mean not thinking big enough? You're against free college. You're against doing anything about student loan debt. And they're not thinking big enough. You're not even thinking small, Amy Klobuchar. You don't even have small ideas. You have no ideas. And you're saying free college isn't a big enough idea? What are you talking about? Was that question asked? Of course not. And everything was pointed. Every person up here likes the new NAFTA except for Bernie. Why is Bernie wrong? That was literally how the question was put. Not, hey, let's talk about this new NAFTA. Senator Sanders, you're the only one who opposes it. Why do you oppose it? Why are these other people for it? No, it's like, why is Bernie wrong? Because clearly this new NAFTA is great. Clearly this new NAFTA is fine. And then they really wanted to get Bernie on that because their advertisers love the new NAFTA. Are you kidding? The oil and gas companies, they like the new NAFTA. It's a lot like the old one, and that's who advertises on CNN. So they had their moment where they wanted to get Bernie. Hey, Bernie, here's this one union that's for it. The AFL-CIO, they're for it. What do you have to say to that? Yeah, they're for it, said Bernie, but every other union and every environmental group, including the Sunrise Movement, they're all against it, and I'm against it too. He was ready for that gotcha moment. Did it get an applause? No. No. And then Pete Buttigieg did not have a concrete policy idea the entire night, to the point where even the moderators were annoyed by him. I think everybody, I don't know how anyone is not grossly annoyed by people. Just his presence is so, like, I think there is not one person on that stage, moderators included, who would not give Pete Buttigieg a wedgie if given the chance, or a wet willy or something. And he talked about nothing for the entire debate. It was just everyone piling on Bernie. And Liz Warren, another thing, Liz Warren, she will never get stopped or cut off. Never, never. They will never do it. They will never, ever do it. If she wanted to on a CNN debate, she could just speak for 2 hours. They wouldn't do anything about it. They wouldn't do anything about it. I mean, it would be up to the audience to start booing loudly enough that something is done. Barely any talk on climate change, barely any constructive talk on healthcare. The closing statements were beyond ridiculous. Tom Steyer, who bought his way onto that stage, no one brings it up. They did ask him a decent question about how, hey, you got rich off of wrecking the environment. Why should we think you're going to fix it? He gave this bullshit answer. Oh, well, I knew it was wrong eventually. Did you return any of the money? What are you doing for a Green New Deal now, Tom Steyer? And I know he signed some pledge that he's going to give away most of his money before he dies. You know what that can be traced back to, by the way? He's a billionaire, first of all. He's a billionaire. You know what that can be traced back to? Back in the day, really, really rich people like Andrew Carnegie, they were worried that when they died, they were going to go to hell. That's what they were worried about. Because I don't know if you ever read the Bible, but if you have, rich people, they don't speak real favorably about that. Eye of the needle. They took that stuff literally, and they were kind of worried. They're like, oh, geez. So they gave their fortunes away to have schools and libraries and all kinds of other stuff named after them, not because they were charitable, but because they were scared they were going to go to hell. This is the modern day version of that. Oh, I'm signing the giveaway pledge because I can't take my money with me. I'll give enough so that my kids will never have to worry. Their kids will never have to worry. But then I'll give some stuff away, and you can name shit after me. If Tom Steyer was really concerned about climate change, running for president would be the last thing he would do. What he would do is use his $1 billion to actually combat it and to start solar companies, to start wind companies, to start infrastructure companies, to start Green New Deal companies, to invest in transportation projects. Instead, he's running for president, where he looked at the camera every time they called on him like a stooge, thinking he's actually giving an address that he's never going to give because he's never going to be president, no matter how many focus groups he overpays to tell him, hey, look at the camera like a jackass. It'll inspire people. Don't look like you're having a conversation and engaging in a debate. Look at a camera like you're giving your own fireside. What a clown. So it was disgusting. I mean, if you didn't watch it, you're better for it. And you know what? It is criminal that our media is allowed to exist the way it does. It shouldn't be legal. Our media structure should be illegal. Our lack of a media structure should be illegal. And it also should be illegal for cable news companies to harbor the debates as their property the way they do. The way they will give copyright strikes to people that stream them. The way they will enforce not letting the debate seen by everybody. That should be illegal. This is a debate about who's going to be the next president between people who are running for president. This should be available to the public by every single means available. and it should be free and open to the public by every single means available. They should be allowed to comment on it. They should be allowed to engage with it. It should be illegal what the cable companies do to their debates, but they hold on to them because they want to inflate the ratings and they want to have exclusivity for those ratings. They treat it as if it's a sporting event, which it has the intellectual merits of one. But the issue is, in a way, it's almost a good thing that they're treating the debates that way so less people see them. Because honestly, if you watch that debate, you know less than what you knew when you started it. It was atrocious. It was beyond embarrassing. I have never seen anything quite like it. And again, we've had a measuring contest, a literal measuring contest. This was lower than that. It's like, hey, we had a measuring contest. It can't get any worse. CNN, hold our beers. It was the worst one of this season, which they keep getting worse. There's a reason CNN is garbage, CNN is trash, CNN is fake news. All of those are trending on Twitter this morning/afternoon. All of them. And deservedly so. Each one of those hashtags is an understatement. CNN should be illegal. Fox News should be illegal. MSNBC should be illegal. They're not news and information. And you know, when I say that, some people think, oh, Ron, that's a little extreme. Is it less extreme than giving the idea of news and information away to corporations and allowing them to dictate what is news and information in a democratic sphere? Is it less extreme than that? Let's let the most powerful people in our country dictate what people see and hear. Dictate the narrative of our news. Have exclusivity to our politicians. Be funded by advertisers who are going to buy favorable influences. That shouldn't be legal. In other countries, that's not legal. Not to the extent it is here, at least. In other countries, if you're doing news and information, there are certain rules you have to abide by for the benefit of citizens and consumers and the benefit of journalism and in the name of a free press. You know, everybody loves to talk about the founding fathers like they were some all-knowing, all-powerful entity. And of course they weren't. There were a lot of things about them that were absolutely terrible, but there were some really great, innovative, amazing ideas that they had. One of them was the idea of a free press and the idea of free speech that they really took to a particular level. Thomas Jefferson once said, if I had to live in a society with newspapers and no government, or government and no newspapers, I'd rather have newspapers and no government. Freedom of the press, the idea, didn't just apply to journalists being able to pursue news and information and the truth without being persecuted. It also applied to the ability to participate in the press. That's what it also applied to, meaning you were able to participate in the press regardless of your money or your power, because you would get subsidies from the U.S. Postal Service to distribute your newspaper. That's the media we used to have in this country prior to the 20th century. You want to talk about the founding fathers, celebrate the founding fathers. If they could be alive today and watch a clip of what we call news, they would say, holy shit, how did this happen? It's unbelievable. And this goes beyond the left-right paradigm. This is between haves and have-nots. And if you think you're in the big club, you're not. I'm sorry, you're not. So a new bar has been set for low. And it will be surpassed. I mean, maybe the next debate will be even worse. But I can say with a clear conscience, that was the worst display of an attempt at news and information I have ever seen in my life. Ever. And I studied media policy in grad school. I would try to find examples of pure propaganda and examples of, examples of misinformation. Like that was part of my graduate degree. I spent hours sifting through this stuff, reading book after book, going through documentaries. This is the worst thing I have ever seen, bar none. Wow. Yeah. So if you missed the debate last night, you didn't miss much. I guess that's my point. That is my point. All right. I think you guys get it. Debate kind of sucked. Did you get the memo? Debate, pretty bad. Let's move on to a new topic. Linus shares this over in the Reddit subsection. Linus, thank you for sharing this. Let's just go to it, shall we? Ocean temperatures hit record high as rate of heating accelerates. So oceans are clearest measure of climate crisis as they absorb 90% of heat trapped by greenhouse gases. The heat in the world's ocean reached a new record level in 2019, showing irrefutable and accelerating heating of the planet. The world's oceans are the clearest measure of the climate emergency because they absorb more than 90% of the heat trapped by the greenhouse gases emitted by fossil fuel burning, forest destruction, and other human activities. The new analysis shows the past 5 years are the top 5 warmest years recorded in the ocean, and the past 10 years are also the top 10 years on record. The amount of heat being added to the oceans is equivalent to every person on the planet running 100 microwave ovens all day and night. So not only is that happening, but it's the equivalent of 100 microwave ovens running all day and night. And guess what? We don't even get to enjoy the pizza rolls. Because it's not actually 100 microwave ovens all day and night. If we're going to do that and we're going to cause that destruction to the planet, we should at least be able to enjoy the pizza rolls. But no, this is Mother Nature doing it, baby. This is Mother Nature wrecking it all. So that's a stunning statistic. And again, they lay it out. You know, this is the ocean temperatures. They trap a lot of the greenhouse gases. That's why when it's at a certain temperature, that's a very telling piece of information that climate change is really happening, and it's happening very quick. We needed a Green New Deal yesterday. The good news is we can still do something. The bad news is we're grossly behind schedule. And we have about 9 years where if we don't significantly change our virus behavior. We're always going to be a virus, but let's behave like a common cold instead of a spreading deadly growth. And if we don't alter the course very quick, we're going to reach the point of no return. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Linus. Guys, we really need to end on some kind of good news. And fortunately, I have some. Here's some kind of good news. Thank you guys, by the way, for bearing through the tech hiccup today. I appreciate that very much. But so last week on the show, we discussed what's going on in Seattle and what happened in Seattle. So Samas Uwan, open socialist on Seattle City Council, big reason why we all heard of the Fight for 15. Amazon didn't like her. Why? Well, for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason being she was a big proponent and a big supporter of the bill that was going to make all the biggest corporations in Seattle pay a fee to help homelessness. Now, most of the corporations that would have had to pay this were fine with it. A couple weren't. Among the ones that weren't, Amazon. Lo and behold, Amazon made a big to-do about it. They eventually got what they wanted. But they decided that wasn't enough. They really needed to get rid of this Shamus Uwan person. So they put $1.5 million, which for Jeff Bezos, that's like the equivalent of like $10 or $15. But nonetheless, it's a lot of money in a local election. They put all that money into Shamus Uwan's opponent. What ended up happening? Shamus Uwan still won anyway. It came down to the wire, but she still won. And after that happened, they decided maybe this isn't okay that these big companies can really put this much money into our local elections. Maybe we should do something about it. So they put forth a bill to limit the spending of corporations with a foreign print to influence their spending. I don't know why foreign influence was singled out there. I don't know why it just didn't apply to all corporations in general. But nonetheless, it's some good news. and it's moving forward. Here's an update from Democracy Now! Seattle bans foreign influence companies from political spending. In Seattle, the city council has voted to ban most political spending by foreign influence corporations in an attempt to obstruct multinational tech companies from influencing local elections. The legislation's author, City Council President Lorena Gonzalez, said the ban could potentially apply to Amazon, fingers crossed, despite the company being based in Seattle, because the legislation will also cover businesses that are substantially owned by foreign investors. In a statement, Gonzalez said, "We have an epidemic of big money in our election, and this step helps to address the appearance and risk of corruption." So that's good news. That's good news that this is happening, and hopefully it does, without a doubt, apply to Amazon. Of course, what is the end game? We want to get all big money out of politics, and we got a long way to go. Citizens United, stuff like that. There's basically unlimited spending corporations can have. We have a long way to go to get all big money out of politics, but something like this is at least a good start. So I'm glad Seattle's moving forward with this. I don't know why specifically it's just foreign influence companies. Maybe that was a way to kind of single out some of the big tech. But either way, I'm glad this is happening. I hope that it, without a doubt, applies to Amazon, and I'm glad Seattle's moving forward with this. So it's a little bit of a follow-up on something we talked about a week ago, where it looks like they're moving in the right direction. Good stuff. Good on you, Seattle. All right. So a little bit of a topsy-turvy show today, and I apologize for that. Yeah, tech issues. It's like when you start a marathon and you start a marathon and then you just you trip when you start, Here to party. Thank you very much for the Super Chat contribution. I appreciate that very, very much. Edwin, thank you very much for the Super Chat contribution. Extra for dealing with the CNN debate. Thank you, Edwin. I appreciate that. Seth, thank you very much for the Super Chat contribution. And Seth says, do you think the DNC will steal the nomination from Bernie again like they did last time? I think they're certainly going to try. How do we remove the corruption from the DNC? All right, well, let me go with both of those. Do you think the DNC will steal the nomination from Bernie again like they did last time? I think they're definitely going to try, without a doubt. They're already trying. So, yes, of course, they're going to try. Will they succeed? I hope not. I think we have to be so loud that they can't succeed. I think that's our only chance. So, and I got to maintain a little bit of hope. How do we remove the corruption from the DNC? I think that the DNC is, by and large, just a corrupt organization. How do we remove the corruption? Well, first of all, we eliminate the superdelegates completely, which we failed to do. That's not, they can still get on the second ballot, and they're going to try to make sure it goes to a second ballot. And then we just need to eliminate all the big money. We need to eliminate the DCCC completely. AOC did the right thing when she said, I'm not paying my dues to them. We need to completely eliminate those organizations, make them completely out of date and gone. I was hoping that a new party was going to start in 2017. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping Bernie. Unfortunately, the people with the power to do something like that, they're not interested in doing it. Because to do that, you need someone who is going to lead it. And the people that are able to do that, a Bernie Sanders, a Tulsi Gabbard, a Nina Turner, a Ro Khanna, an AOC, the squad in general, they're not interested in doing it. They're just not. So we didn't get that new party. So as far as, the DNC is just a corrupt organization. So to remove corruption from it, well, it needs to be pretty much completely gutted. The DCCC needs to go away in its entirety, and superdelegates need to go away in their entirety. And big money needs to be completely eliminated from politics. Jack Jean, thank you so very much for your incredibly generous Super Chat contribution. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Bethlehem, thank you very much for the Super Chat contribution. Thank you guys so much for your kindness today. It means an awful lot. I appreciate that. Tour dates, I got them. Come see me on the road, where you don't have to worry about a pixelated blur and a live show. It's just live. You just got your eyeballs. You don't have to worry about earlier today. For those of you who tuned in a little later, when we started the stream, we had to restart it because for some reason I looked like some pixelated blur from 1994 Wait, no, 95. But 94 was too early, right? Like when exactly? It's not important. You guys get the idea. And for some reason that was going on. No idea why, but it was. So we had to restart. Thank you all for your patience. Thanks for bearing with me. We plowed through it. I'm proud of us. But Jacques, thank you very much for that. That was incredibly kind of you and very generous. Thank you very much. And Edwin, here to party. Seth, Bethlehem, thank you guys very, very much as well. So tour dates, I got them. January 25th, Santa Clarita, California, starting right in the area at JR's Comedy Club. Graham Elwood and myself, tickets available at ronplacone.com. Grab them. Don't wait. Grab them. February 8th, Tucson, Arizona. Grab those tickets. Want to see you. February 29th, San Francisco, California. Can't wait to see you again, San Fran. March 12th, Orlando, Florida. March 13th, Tampa, Florida. March 14th, Miami, Florida. Tickets available now, ronplacone.com. April 10th, I'll be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. April 24th, Seattle, Washington. April 25th, Portland, Oregon. Can't wait to see y'all. May 14th, Indianapolis, Indiana. May 15th, Detroit, Michigan. June 19th, Louisville, Kentucky. July 11th, Chicago, Illinois. July 12th, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Those are all the tickets that are available now. We should be confirming a lot more dates within the next week, and more tickets will be available very, 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 very soon. But that's all that we have now. Go to ronplacone.com, grab those tickets. Do not wait. If you want to support this show on the sustainability end, please do consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/ronplacone for a give what you can level, which means no matter what you give, $5 is the suggested amount. That's a little too high. I totally get it. Even $1 a month goes a long way, and everybody gets all the same content. Here's what you get. You get an exclusive patrons-only stream once a week. You get dialogues between myself and my cat Lucy before they get published. You get videos not available anywhere else. We got a video of me playing protest music at the live Jimmy Dore show that's not available anywhere else except for my Patreon and Graham Elwood's Patreon. So you can only get them there. You get full stand-up clips, not available anywhere else. And you get my album that you can download in its entirety. You can get all that for as little as $1 a month, and it goes a long way. And what do you help me do? You help me start a docuseries that I'm trying to start on municipal broadband and net neutrality and city-owned internet. I'm working on that with Right Brain Studios, but we need more resources to make that a reality because we're going to need camera people. We're going to need more editors. We're going to need production assistants. We're going to need all that stuff. And that takes resources. So if you are able, if you want to see that mission continue to be pursued, patreon.com/ronplacone. Also, I'm starting a series where I interview musicians. That's going to be really cool. I can't wait. I'm so excited about that. I really am. And thank you guys for your suggestions. I have all your suggestions and I have my wish list. And we're going to be breaking ground on that very, very soon. But we do need your help to get there. So patreon.com/ronplacone if you are so able. In the meantime, you know the drill. First of all, Linus, thank you for the climate change article. Here to party, Jack, Edwin, Seth, Bethlehem. Thank you so much for your super chat generosity on today's stream. We will be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. In the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.